My name is Judith Favia. I'm a member of the Tergar Minneapolis St. Paul community and have been part of that community since the very early days of Tergar. I first was at a teaching with Mingyur Rinpoche in 2007 at about the point that his book Joy of Living had come out, and I was able to take refuge at that teaching. 2 years later, in 2009, there was an additional teaching that I was able to go to in New York, and that was the first opportunity that I had of seeing the Tergar identification and some of the Tergar materials. Initially, our Sangha was renting space, and we had a lot of volunteers who were very eager to help. And since we had Cortland, Edwin, and Mioshin all living in Minneapolis, that really gave us a boost in getting started in our own meditation journey. In 2010, there were also the initial retreats at St. John's University. But at the same time, that was the point at which we heard that Mingyur Rinpoche was going to be going on a 3-year retreat, which came as a bit of a shock for all of us. Happily, Rinpoche had planned ahead on this and was in the process of doing a lot of recordings of teachings, including the introduction to meditation, the 3 levels of joy of living, guidelines for practice, and monthly teachings. Kathy Przinski from the New York Sangha had also created a website where people could get access to some of these. We were able to rent a home of our own in Minneapolis, in the North Loop area, and Tergar Minneapolis became a bit of a petri dish for the organization as a whole. We had lots of goals, lots of discussions, and the truth is, both the instructors and all of the volunteers were kind of making it up as we went along. In fall of 2011, Debbie D'Angelo, who was responsible for managing a lot of retreats even after this point, but had been the operations person, moved to North Carolina with her husband. At that time, Edwin reached out to me and asked if I was interested in working full-time for Tergar. My background was a project manager in corporate setting, and that kind of gave me a leg up on being able to try and turn some of the biggest goals and ideas into action. Not that all of them were successful, but that was really my role for several years. It was an amazingly exciting time. I was doing event management for speakers, hospitality, and setup. We had developed an online bookstore, which required a lot of technical skills. We had visiting monks coming in, which meant all of us who didn't already know how to set up an altar or provide for the visiting monks had to learn that. And we also had our practice leaders coming up locally who were really providing a lot of training to all of the volunteers. We actually were a great deal like a startup of any kind of making it up as we went along. And it was a very exciting time to be working directly with Cortland, Edwin, and Mioshin. I learned a great deal from them, and it was very nice to see all of the dreams come into reality. It is amazing to see Tergar today as a truly international organization with a large support staff, an expanding website, Tergar learning, and practice groups all over the world. I'm very, very grateful to have been part of all of this, and I thank Rinpoche for giving me the opportunity to be part of an amazing community.